Namaste. So tonight I'm going to read chapter 45 on the antidote of Dakshina, the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Vakratu Namakaya Koti Suras. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Narayana said, "The excellent, most sweet stories of Swaha and Swadha are told. Now I will tell you the story of Dakshina. Hear attentively. In early days in the region of Goloka, there was a good-natured gopi named Susila, beautiful, Radha's companion and very dear to Sri Hari. She was fortunate, respected, beautiful, lovely, prosperous, with good teeth, learnt, well qualified, and of exquisitely handsome form. Her whole body was tender and lovely, like Kalavati, one versed in 64 arts, moon. She was beautiful, and her eyes were like water lilies. Her lips were good and spacious. Her breasts were full. She was Shyama, a kind of woman having color like melted gold. Body being hot in cold and cool in summer, of youthful beauty. As well, she was a Nyagroda class of woman, an excellent woman. Stanu Sukha Tinao Yasya Nitambi Cha Visalata Madhya Ksina Bhaveda Sangya Groda Parimandala. Always a smile sweetened her face, and that looked always gracious. Her whole body was covered with jewel ornaments. Her color was white like the white champakas. Her lips were red like the bhimba fruits. Her eyes were like those of a deer. Susila was very clever in amorous sciences. Her gait was like a swan. She was specially versed in what is called prema bhakti, love towards God. So she was the dearest lady of Shri Krishna, and she was of intense emotional feelings. She knows all the sentiments of love. She was witty, humorous, and ardent for the love of Shri Krishna, the love of the Rasa circle. She sat by the left side of Shri Krishna in the presence of Radha. Shri Krishna then cast his glance on Radha, the chief of the gopis, and hung down his head through fear. Radha's face turned red. The two eyes looked like red lilies. All her bodies began to quiver out of anger, and her lips began to shake. Seeing that state of Radha, Bhagavan Shri Krishna disappeared. Fearing that a quarrel might ensue, Susila, the other gopis, seeing that the peaceful Krishna of Sattva Guna and of lovely form has disappeared, began to tremble with fear. Then 1,00,000 gopis, seeing Krishna absent and Radha angry, became very much afraid, and bowing their heads down with devotion and with folded palms began to say frequently, "Radhe, protect us, protect us." And they took shelter at her feet. O Narada, 3,00,000 gopas, also including Sudama and others, took shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Radha out of fear. Seeing then Krishna absent and her companion Susila running away, Radha cursed her thus, "If Susila comes again to this Goloka, she will be reduced to ashes." Thus cursing her companion Susila out of anger, Radha, the darling of the Devas, and the lady of the Rasa circle, went to the Rasa circle and called on Krishna, the Lord of the same. Not being able to find out Sri Krishna, a minute appeared, a yoga to her, and she began to say, O Lord of Pranas, O dearer than my life, O presiding deity of my life, O Krishna, my life seems to depart from thy absence. Come quickly and show thyself to me. O Lord, it is through the favor of one's husband that the pride of woman gets increased day by day. Women's safeguards of happiness and their husbands. Therefore, women who are helpless creatures ought always to serve their husbands according to Dharma. The husband is the wife's friend, presiding deity, and the sole refuge and the chief wealth. It is through husbands that women derive their pleasures, enjoyments, dharma, happiness, peace, and contentment. If husbands are respected, wives are respected, and if husbands are dishonored, women are dishonored too. The husband is the highest thing to a woman. He is the highest friend. There is no better friend than him. The husband is called Bharta because he supports his wife. He is called Pati because he preserves her. He is called Swami because he is the master of her body. He is called Kanta because he bestows the desired things to her. He is called Bandhu because he increases her happiness. He is called Priya because he gives pleasure to her. He is called Isa because he bestows prosperity on her. He is called Praneshvara because he is the Lord of her prana. And he is called Ramana because he gives enjoyment to her. There's no other thing dear than husband. The son is born of the husband, hence the son is so dear. The husband is dear to a family woman than 100 sons. Those who are born in impure families cannot know what substance a husband is made up of. Taking baths in all the tirthas, giving dakshinas in all the yajna sacrifice, circumambulating around the whole earth, performing all austerities, observing all vows, making all great gifts, holy fastings, all that are dictated in the sastras, serving the Guru, the Brahmanas and the Devas, all cannot compare to even 1/16th part with serving faithfully the feet of the husband. The husband is the highest, higher than the spiritual teacher, Guru, higher than the Brahmanas, higher than all the Devas. As to man, the spiritual teacher who imparts the spiritual knowledge is the best and supreme, so to the woman their husbands are the best of all. Oh, I am not able to realize the glory of my dearest, by whose favor I am the sole ruler of 1,00,000 koti gopis. 1,00,000 koti gopas, innumerable brahmandas, and all the things thereof, and all the lokas, regions from Bhu, earth, and Goloka. Oh, the womanly nature is insurmountable. Thus saying, Radhika began to meditate with devotion on Shri Krishna. Tears began to flow incessantly from her eyes. She exclaimed, O Lord, O Ramana, show thyself to me. I am very much weak and distressed from thy bereavement. Now the Dakshina Devi, driven out from Goloka, practiced tapasya for a long time when she entered into the body of Kamala. The Devas, on the other hand, performed a very difficult yajna, but they could not derive any fruit therefrom. So they went to Brahma, becoming very sad. Hearing them, Brahma meditated on Vishnu for a long time with devotion. At last, Vishnu gave him a reply. Vishnu got out of the body of Mahalakshmi as Martya Lakshmi, Lakshmi of the earth, and gave her Dakshina to Brahma. Then, with a view to yield to the Devas as the fruits of their karmas, Brahma made over to the Yajna Deva, the Deva presiding the sacrifice. The Devi Dakshina offered by Narayana, Yajna Deva then worshipped her duly and recited hymns to her with great joy. Her color was like melted gold. Her lustre equaled Koti moons. Very lovely, beautiful, fascinating, face resembling water lilies, of a gentle body, with eyes like Padma Palasa, born of the body of Lakshmi, worshipped by Brahma, wearing celestial silken garments. Her lips resembled like bimba fruits, chaste, handsome, her braid of hair surrounded by malati garlands, with a sweet smiling face, ornamented with jewel ornaments, well-dressed, bathed, enchanting the minds of the munis. Below the hair of her forehead, the dot of musk and sindura, scented with sandal paste, of spacious hips with full breasts, smitten by the arrows of Kamadeva, the god of love. Such was the Dakshina Devi. Seeing her, the Yajna Deva fainted. At last, he married her according to due rites and ceremonies. Taking her to a solitary place, he enjoyed her for full divine 100 years with great joy like Lakshmi Narayana. Gradually, then Dakshina became pregnant. She remained so for 12 divine years. Then she duly delivered a nice son as the fruit of karma. When any karma becomes complete, this son delivers the fruits of that karma. Yajna Deva, with his wife Dakshina and the above name Karmapala, the bestower of the fruits of actions, gives the desired fruits to all their sacrificial acts and karmas. So the Pandits, the knowers of the Vedas, say, really he henceforth began to give fruits to all the persons of their acts with his wife Dakshina and son, the bestower of the fruits of the actions. The Devas were all satisfied at this and went away respectively to their own abodes. Therefore, the man who performs karmas, generally known as karma kartas, should pay the dakshina, the sacrificial fee, and so he completes at once his actions. It is stated in the Vedas that no sooner the karma karta pays the dakshina than he obtains the fruits of his karmas at once. In case the karma karta, after he has completed his acts, does not pay either through bad luck or through ignorance any dakshina to the brahmanas, its amount is doubled if a muhurta passes away and if one night elapses. Its amount is increased to 100 times. If 3 nights passes away and the dakshina not paid, the amount last brought forward is increased again 200 times. If a week passes, the last amount is doubled, and if 1 month passes away, the dakshina is multiplied to 1 lakh times. If 1 year passes away, that is increased to 10 millions of times, and the karma also bears no fruit. Such a karma karta is known as taking away unfairly a brahmana's property and is regarded as impure. He has no right to any further actions. For that sin, he becomes a pauper and diseased. Lakshmi Devi goes away from his house, leaves him, cursing him severely. So much so that the Pitris do not accept the Srad, Tarpanam, offered by that wretched fellow. So the Devas do not accept his worship, nor the fire accepts the oblations poured by him. If the person that performs sacrifices does not pay the sacrificial fee that he resolves to pay, and he who accepts the offer does not demand the sum, both of them go to hell. But if the performer of the sacrifices does not pay when the priest demand the fee, then the yajamana, the performer of the sacrifices, only falls down to hell as the jar, severed by the rope, falls down. The yajmana, pupil, is denominated as a Brahma Vapahari, Brahmas Vapahari. one who robs a Brahmana's property. He goes ultimately to the Kumbhipaka hell. There he remains for 1,00,000 years, punished and threatened by Yama's messengers. He is then reborn as a Chandala, poor and diseased, so much so that his 7 generations above and his 7 generations below go to hell. O Narada, thus I have narrated to you the story of Dakshina. What more do you want to hear? Say, Narada said, O best of Munis, who bears the fruits of that karma where no dakshina is paid, describe the method of worship that was offered to Dakshina by Yajnadeva. Narayana said, where do you find the fruit of any sacrifice without dakshina? I.e., nowhere. That karma only gets fruits where dakshinas are paid, and the fruits of the acts void of any dakshinas, Bali, who lives in the Patala, only enjoys and no one else. For in olden times it was ordained by Vamana Deva that those fruits would go to the king Vali, and those that pertain to Shrad not sanctioned by the Vedas, the charities made without any regard or faith, the worship offered by a Brahmin who is the husband of a Vrisala, an unmarried girl, 12 years, in whom menstruation has commenced, the fruits of sacrifices done by an impure Brahmana, a Brahma who fails in his duties, the worship offered by impure persons, and the acts of a man devoid of any devotion to his guru, all these are reserved for the king Bali. He enjoys the fruits of all these. O child, I am now telling you the Dhyana Stotra and the method of worship as per Kanva, Sakha and Dakshina Devi. Here, when Yajnadeva in ancient times got Dakshina, skillful in action, he was very much fascinated by her appearance and being love-stricken began to praise her. O beautiful one, you were before the chief of the gopis in Goloka. You were like Radha, you were her companion, and you were loved by Shri Radha, the beloved of Shri Krishna. In the Rasa circle, on the full moon night in the month of Kartik, in the great festival of Radha, you appeared from the right shoulder of Lakshmi. Hence you were named Dakshina. O beautiful one, you were of good nature before. Hence your name was Susila. Next, you turned due to Radha's curse into Dakshina. It is to my great good luck that you were dislodged from Goloka and have come here. O highly fortunate one, now have mercy on me and accept me as your husband. O Devi, you give to all the doers of actions the fruits of their works. Without you, their karmas bear no fruit. So much so, if you be not present in their action, the works never shine forth in brilliant glory. Without thee, neither Brahma, nor Vishnu, nor Mahesa, nor the regents of the quarters, the 10 Dikpalas, can award the fruits of actions. Brahma is the incarnate of karma. Maheshwara is the incarnate of the fruits of karmas, and I, Vishnu, myself, is the incarnate of yajnas. But thou art the essence of all. Thou art the Paraprakriti, without any attributes. The Parabrahma incarnate, the bestower of the fruits of actions. Bhagavan Sri Krishna cannot award the fruits of actions without thee. O beloved, if in every birth let thou be my Shakti, O thou with excellent face, without thee I am unable to finish well any karma. O Narada, thus praising Dakshina Devi, Yajna Deva stood before her. She, born from the shoulder of Lakshmi, became pleased with his stotra and accepted him for her bridegroom. If anybody recites this Dakshina Stotra during sacrifice, he gets all the results thereof. If anybody recites this stotra in the Rajsuya sacrifice, Vajapaya, Gomeda, cow sacrifice, Narmada, Naramida, man sacrifice, Ashwamedha, horse sacrifice, Langala sacrifice, Vishnu Yajna, tending to increase one's fame, an act of giving over wealth or pieces of lands, digging tanks or wells, or giving fruits, in Gajameda, elephant sacrifice, in Loha Yajna, iron sacrifice, Swarna Yajna, gold sacrifice, Ratna Yajna, making over jewels in sacrifice, Tamra Yajna, copper, Shiva Yajna, Rudra Yajna, Sakra Yajna, Bandhuka Yajna, Varuna Yajna for rains, Kandaka Yajna for crushing the enemies, Suchi Yajna, Dharma Yajna, Papa Mochna Yajna, Brahmani Karma Yajna, inauspicious Prakriti Yajna, sacrifice, his works, is achieved then without any hitch or obstacle. There's no doubt in this. The stotra thus is mentioned now here about the dhyanam and the method of worship. First of all, one should worship in the Saligrama stone or in an earthen jar, Ghata Dakshina Devi. The dhyanam runs thus: O Dakshina, thou art sprung from the right shoulder of Lakshmi. Thou art a part of Kamala. Thou art clever, Daksa, in all the actions, and thou bestowest the fruits of all the actions. Thou art the Shakti of Vishnu. Thou art revered, worshipped. Thou bestowest in all that is auspicious. Thou art purity. Thou art bestowest purity. Thou art good-natured. So I meditate on thee. Thus meditating, the intelligent one should worship Dakshina with the principal mantra. Then when the Vedic mantras, padyas, etc., offerings of various sorts are to be offered, now the mantra, as stated in the Vedas, runs thus: Om Shrim Klim Hrim Dakshinaye Swaha. With this mantra, all the offerings such as padyas, argyas, etc. are to be given, and one should worship as per rules Dakshina Devi with devotion. O Narada, thus I have stated to you the antidote of Dakshina, happiness, pleasure, and the fruits of all karmas are obtained by this. Being engaged in sacrificial acts, in this Bharata Varasa, if one hears attentively this dhyanam of Dakshina, his sacrifice becomes defectless. So much so that the man who has got no sons get undoubtedly good and qualified sons. If he has no wife, he gets a best wife, good-natured, beautiful, of slender waist, capable to give many sons, sweet-speaking, humble, chaste, pure, and kulina. If he be void of learning, he gets learning. If he be poor, he gets wealth. If he be without any land, he gets land. And if he has no attendants, he gets attendants. If a man hears for 1 month the stotra of Dakshina Devi, he gets over all difficulties and dangers, bereavements from friends, troubles, imprisonments, and all other calamities. Here ends the 4th chapter of the 9th book on the antidote of Dakshina in the Maha Puranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra. Om Tuya Mata Chapita Tuyo Tuyo Bandhu Shatra Sakatver.